Game number 3, kicking off as you saw on the kill feed, or the scoreboard, I mean, kill feed. Saw on the scoreboard there in the end of the previous game. Off of that, a win. Temporary name did manage to take themselves into first place. And now with the plane going south to north, first time around we get to see that. Will Media Makers be out early? Yes, they will, but... I was just gonna say, but there's another team contesting military, and they've been down here earlier today, so it seems like Media Makers, I don't know if it was on purpose they wanted to go to Primorsk this time around, but they clearly noticed that multiple other teams were jumping out early on, and that's gonna be them saying, you know what guys, let us not go down and contest military. It clearly will not be worth it. So Eastern Plain, to say the least, is gonna go with Sheldon up towards Kameshki, and then everyone who was opting to go northwest, well, I mean, they might just be in for a long flight. Long flights ahead. And one of those teams will be, as we can see on our screen, just down in the southwest corner north of Ferrip here, the temporary name that is currently sitting in first place. The orange team, I guess you can say, at least for right now. So we've had some interesting circles so far. A northern one followed by a western one. So where do we go now? Where do we go in just about 10 seconds time? And also seems to me like Riddle, they have been not scared out of, but at least they've decided to leave Milta. They'll continue on further forward and go over towards Milta Power, and they should have themselves a solid rotation opportunity out from there. And once again, the circle goes to west, not that far west this time around, but centering kind of around the just south of Pachinki. But west it goes nonetheless, and it will be interesting to see how teams decide to rotate on this one. Do they go all the way around north like we saw Media Makers try to do last game, or do they go more straight on at Nimerith? Oh, there's a nice little double jump with the help of the fence, making its way up towards. I wouldn't assume they would care to go all the way to Georgopol this game. Maybe stop in Gatka or something like that, because now the circle has popped and there's no reason for them to drive that far north just to turn around and go down again. So would assume to see them not go that far north this time around. Swarm looting up in Novo. They have a easy time there. Shouldn't be much of an issue. They'll get that going. 64 players on the server as well. Love to see it. It's always great to see when we get everyone in and joining in the action. For those of you guys who are wondering, for those of you guys who are sitting out there watching and going, oh my god, why am I not playing in this tournament? Well, I can only tell you that's your own fault, because there were open qualifiers practically for everything that we have led to, or that has led to where we are now. And also, well, I mean, if you want to get a try, you can, as far as I'm concerned, you can join the qualifiers for Open League stage 2, because as far as I know, there is no limit to how many teams can be in the Open League. And well, I mean, what I'm casting right here could be you and 3 friends playing in the second phase of the Open League phase 2. So if you're out there, have a couple of friends you want to play with, or if you're a super duper pro player that just have yet to be discovered, then do make sure to go into the PUBG Esports homepage and find all the info you would need in order to sign up to the tournament in there. As we see Art of War, they're getting themselves looted. LXG doing the exact same thing. They got themselves the win in game 1, but then things kind of got a little tougher when they had to cross through the swamp area out west. Fighting a wizard in a swamp, it ain't never easy, and they were taken down. They're an Abo. We see him up here. They're sharing. It's not too often we see Asnaya splits anymore, like the Asnaya being split with 2 teams, but still, nonetheless, pretty interesting. That's what's happening. Coppen getting his move on. Renkonas, they only had 3 players in game 1. This time seems like they're all 4 in it. And then we have a Ghost Legion, a team that has impressed me in both of the last two stages. They've come off to a good start here, got 10 kills in the previous game, and they had a really good stage 1 as well. I mean, they had a rough contenders for phase 1, but they did extremely well. They did extremely well in the stages here. Sirong, he has an AK in hand. He hears Sniffle. Does he want to start shooting though? Nope, not in the position to do so. He was all by himself and did not want to start tapping away. But Sniffle is going. He doesn't seem like he is He's too worried. He's jumping off the bike. He's going into scout further forward. Scout over towards gas station. See if anyone's out there. Realizes they aren't. And that could be some crucial, not misinformation, but lack of info on his part, not knowing that Zerong is there. Because if Zerong makes his way down towards the bridge now and spots out whoever is the next vehicle to come across, that could be an early elimination for Angry Kids or for AK. And that could be tough for them. Kofest made his way up in the buggy. I'm not sure that Tony and Memo did they spot him. Maybe you can see he actually is down here. Zerong, he is down here by the road. And you can see as well Tony and Memo, they're jumping around. Kofest is up here, had a buggy, but now he's running off. Clearly some info has come in there as well that there are opponents nearby. He is pretty center in the circle, but we'll see how much longer that's gonna last him. Shots are being fired. Zerong, oh, gets down running, creates a low HP. Now he's forced up north. Only issue being for Zerong right now, he's all by himself. And there is not a whole lot. Actually, lots of Moon coming in. Okay, so Moon is coming in on foot from the 12 stack, or like the yellow houses that are further east. And Sniffle is in a good position. He has Denethor next to him, though. Oh, actually gets the knock on towards him. That's super, super clutch. That was the only player that really had made his way across. And now Ronnie is up here by the lighthouse. And you have Northwest out on the bridge still. So this is not the kind of start that 4AK would have wanted coming into game number 3 here. Really, really tough break for them. They lost players early on last game. They had a rough game 1 as well. And now they're off to a tough beginning here in game number 3 as well. Nixty does have a crate if he wants to loot it. Seems like he doesn't. Maybe he did already. That would be that would make more sense. And Northwest actually turns around now, I believe. Yep, he's saying, you know what, Ronnie, you're on your own. I will see if I can do anything, and then we'll come back for you someday. Just hang around, and because he's inside the circle. I mean, he's inside the circle, right? So it's not the biggest issue. Unless if Huge Potential decides to push up towards him, he should be able to stay put for at least a little while longer. Hickey going down towards the comp up, and Persis is already inside. Pullman has the angle, has the reload. Hickey's down to just 1 HP. You can see Karagas and Pullman, they have the angle. They know where he's sitting, and Houston needs to apply some pressure now. He needs to start shooting, and he does. Great headshot coming in, but Hickey will still be taken down. Great headshot landed by Houston, but too late in order to get Hickey back up on his feet, unfortunately. Moon, they're running on up. They're expecting Ronnie to still be up here, and they want to go all together. Makes perfect sense. Never be in a position where you will lose players for no reason. If you know there's only one guy up here, you gotta use the fact that you have 3 guys alive to your advantage. I mean, they have 4 guys alive, but that you have 3 guys around here to your advantage, and not do anything over aggressive. Don't take any aggressive peeks on your own. You gotta play this ever so cautious. PEL, he's coming up, he's gonna help as well. And you can see Zerong and Moon, they're trying to see if they can spot him out. I mean, for every single sort of square meter they don't see him, that's gonna limit the opportunities as to where he can be. Outlaw gets himself a knock as well. Oh, does they spot him? He's in the shadow, he's hard to notice. He is hard to see, and now Ronnie gets spotted out, tries to crawl back behind the side, but Moon spots him out, and that is going to be 4AK once again under tons of pressure, losing 2 guys really, really early on. I actually make that 1 guy. I believe they only lost 1 guy in all of this, but losing a player really early, and that is no, they did lose 2. They did lose 2. They lost 1 in the forest as well. So just Northwest and Nixties remaining now. Outlaw got himself a knock early. Now he goes down in return. Amaris gets 1, but he gets traded off immediately as well. So good fighting coming in here. Good knocks and the damage being traded back and forth. Test goes down arsenally with the Mini 14 in hand. Once again, it's a trade-off. Dictator did go down, so it's gonna be Test on his feet and Cobham trying to hold off arsenally. And Abo had a crazy 1v3 play with the nades last game. Ooh, you can see he's trying to get the knocks finished off Cobham, but he's not really in a position where he can spot them down behind these trees. Outlaw is proning down. He did get rest, so they're just Just Dictator remaining, who is not on his feet yet. And seems like they are running back to get that res on up too. Should be able to get that one in. Abo tried to do the flank around, gets into a good position, but he's taking a lot of fire. Somehow, his pan took a hit from... What? Okay, so he was 1 HP and his pan took a hit despite him facing the other direction. That's impressive. Thank you, Pan, for saving me there. It's what I would say if I was Abo. That was a fortunate little event going on there. And Miramore goes down. Tess goes down as well. Now just one player remaining, I believe. Yep, Cobham trying to make the run on off all by himself. That is going to be a tricky. Trilith gets a teammate knocked, but the rest should be coming in momentarily. There you go. Everyone back up on their feet, so no real issues there. And Mini somewhat isolated from his teammates. Where Cerebro are your teammates? You're so far off here. Seems like a rotation gone wrong. And you have all of LXT sitting up here looking around. Oh, they're down in farm. They're further down south. So Mini probably drove up from down in farm, trying to see if he can get himself some more info, get himself into a better position, and would go down in return of it. Or not down, but at least down to his chest. And not really able to do a whole lot more other than giving some sound info off. LXT, they're rotating off. Bike has been filled up with as many players as possible. Make that 2. And now they're making their rotations. Far blue rotation, that is, on in towards the circle. Wizards, they've come in from the north. They've taken themselves a good position down in the northwestern edge. They've taken control of the compound just outside the western side of Pachinki, and they'll look to see if they can scout further forward. And you can see up there, Art of War. They were the first team. Well, they were the teams to land in Pachinki, and they have now made their way out from here as well. So Circle going just on the eastern side of Pachinki. We can kind of figure that out with all the mini-maps that we're getting to see. And yeah, Meet Jamaica's now making their way on over. They were the team that normally would go down towards military. They were prevented to do so by 4AK, and well, as you can see here, huge potential. They were the ones sitting around dealing with 4AK, but now Meet Jamaica's coming along and say, well, you could kick off that military team, but can you handle us as well? Trying to take a well, before we fall fight early on in the game, fighting for position that might be worth fighting for, but we'll see now. New circle pups, where are we going? Nope, neither of them are gonna be in, so might want to reconsider whether they want to take this fight or not. But for Meet Jamaica's, where do you go from here? You have to scout your way forward. Persis, they might be giving up the compound. They lost one player earlier. They might be giving up the compound here and make their way up towards the hillside, but will it really be worth it for them to run all the way up, or should they keep at least some sort of control of the compound down south? Should the circle shift back, we will have them determine that by themselves. Aurora come off to a rough start, only 3 points so far over the first 2 games, but clearly they want to get something going here. Shisho, they're in a good position. They have a good chance of having the circle shift up towards them coming into the next one. Oh, Appeal, you're making a long rotation. You're all by yourself. That vehicle can only handle so many bullets. Seems like they're forced to send it down in the edge, and somehow, they actually manage to stay alive. And not only do they stay alive, but if worse comes to worse, I don't believe that bike had any wheels popped, so they could potentially, they could... Well, I mean, drive off on it again. You can see, they want to get it down the hill. Oh no! Just gets the wheel popped the moment he tries to go for it. The wheel gets popped. Worst timing ever. So unfortunately, but nice try nonetheless. I mean, they stayed alive. That's the most important, I guess you can say. And now we see the full push coming in here. Andy is the one who is playing the back sides. He's trying to make sure nobody's pushing in from behind. But we've got all of Art of War pushing from one hilltop to another. Wizards, though, getting fully pulled up on by Tempt Name. Nemerith goes down instantly. Eros was waiting for that one. Getting the flush in as well. Nope, not gonna happen. Eros taken down by Silas as soon as he was visible on the side. He's taken down, and what is going on down the hill? D's not ready for that one at all. Mise taking him down. So unfortunate there, but he does go down. Silas tries to drive away now, but plenty of bullets are coming towards him, and T-Bone is going to land them with a Mini 14. And all of a sudden, Yannick, all by himself, has to make the run and off. Back to the fight. We're just before Memo, trying to push in a little by himself, maybe. His team was not really in a position to help him out. He goes down. There were smokes around, so cover was granted. But in the end, he does get knocked, trying to crawl back towards his teammates. Now, Andy on the flank could be the flank that they need for him to make around the side. Pullman is waiting around the side, though. Who's going to spot out who gets the better position? Saka goes down. Tony goes down as well. Andy gets the good flank on towards Pullman. Great positioning there from him, and they get the entire team eliminated. Memo, though, does get finished off, so Official gets him and his team at least one kill off of it. And we see Tony going down as well, actually. So 2 kills taken from, or 2 players taken out from out of war. They do get the kills with them, but taking 2 casualties in return. Tough loss for them, but even worse it is, or is it for Persis, because they've had a rough start to the tournament. 2 or 3 games now where they go down really, really early. Sure, they got themselves some kills with it last time around, but now as we see here, Copest and Personal Courage, they're in a position to throw those nades forwards. And as you can see on your minimap in the corner, Medium Makers, they're making their way up towards the hillside here as well. And Copest, he just has to be worried. I mean, he has to watch out here. He has to watch out. Fortunately, Intense is looking at the complete other direction, and somehow Copest is actually allowed to run back down the hill. Somehow, he's actually allowed to run back down. Oh, Yannick, you played around 1 shack previously. Now he's trying to do it again. Hopefully for him. I mean, they got a 2nd place off of something very similar to this, where they were in a shack and the circle kept... I mean, they didn't even keep going in the direction of the shack. It's just that he was never really forced to do anything from his position, and they got a 2nd place off of it. So, so we'll see if he can get equally lucky this time around. Long range taps down towards Rubsy. 1 more hit should be enough to get the knock, but no hits connected. Still plenty of ammo remaining. As we can see, multiple teams are up here on the hilltop, potentially in positions to fight off one another. Swarm, they have a good position down south. They don't really need to push anything. And now, as we can see here, Nixty, long range with the Grocer. I mean, it's not really long range, but for Grocer, it is pretty long range. Getting himself a headshot over towards LXG. They were the ones to win the previous game, but holy moly, Nixty follows the Grocer headshot by a great M24 one, and then he almost nades himself. It's those damn bars in the windows. Damn bars in the windows. Not a whole lot more you can do, and unfortunately that nade there, I mean the nade thrown right there might Nixty, what are you doing, buddy? If you want to throw those nades out the window, don't move, buddy. Don't move. Just stand still when you're throwing. Just stand still when you're throwing. It's gonna make things so much easier. But unfortunately, because those 2 nades never really got over, they did manage to get the rests up on towards all the players. But 2 helmets removed nonetheless could be the difference maker for them in a later fight, if they were to be forced into engagements with them again. Ghost Legion, they lost 2 players and they only got 2 kills so far. And as you can see here, Golpy and Alpha, they're not exactly in the best spot. Sure, they're inside the circle, but they're very much pinned down to 1 tree and a vehicle. And it's just going to be a matter of time before... I was gonna say, before the swarm around the side comes and they get in positions to take them out. They're trying to drive off now. Desperate times, calls for desperate measures. Outlaw immediately taken down for Oshtik on the other side of things. And somehow Golpy, they actually gets out of there. They actually managed to get out of there alive. I'm not sure exactly how this was allowed, but fortunately, as Outlaw was trying to take shots down towards them, Wizards and the other team down the hill, they applied enough pressure to not allow for him to do so. Cerebro, they're trying to make the run on in as well. They'll be coming in right behind Oshtik, and if they're smart, they must have heard all the shots fired. Mini is running straight down towards them. They see the smokes here as well. Throw one nade in through that smoke, and you might get yourself a knock. Or just wait for them to fade out. Maybe not sprint all the way forward. You're up in the blue, party. You're in the blue. Gotta make your way inside the circle. It's only phase 4, so they don't do that much damage. But of course, enough to be fatal should you be staying out in them for too long. Abo, Outlaw, spotted 1, spotted 2, spotted 3. Mini is playing this so cautious, so smart, and they're playing it with Perfection. Mini gets down 1. Party gets down number 2. And now Appo is the only player remaining. He gets himself 1 knock, but he's under so much pressure. And that's going to be Osh take out. Great info gathering from Mini GG right there. They didn't take the shots before he knew where everyone was in Kofist. That nade. Ooh, almost takes him down. We don't know the exact terrain there off the angle that we had. Temp name taken out as well. It's going to be Denethor taking out Yannick. So despite them being in first place overall, they do go down in 14th place. And Meet Your Makers eliminated to Kofist. Lives not only to fight for himself for the remainder of the game, but also gets to rest above one of his teammates. Good job by Personal Courage there to stay in the game. So Repro taken out in the end as well. Now all of a sudden, because we move all these players into the open areas, it just becomes a tough and open field place to fight on. Really, really rough place to have to take these fights. And you see the terrain right here. If you don't have a compound, if you don't have some sort of hard cover, it's really tricky to play to fight around here. Compound is good. There are 3 teams in it already. We have the entirety of Aurora up on the northern side as well. Northwest. Do you dare peek this one? A little bit of a slowdown as the circle is closing on in. The majority of teams are inside the new circle already. But as you can see, there are some of the teams up here on the northern side that has to make that run on forward. Alpha trying to jump into safety ain't gonna happen. He's gonna go down. And Andy now getting in on the engagement as well. They heard the shots fired from Personal Courage on the other side of the hill against Meet Your Makers, and they were waiting for them to come over the hill, and it happened. It just exactly happened the way they wanted it to. Run up straight towards them. They got themselves 2 kills, and now they know for sure. I mean, they don't know for sure, but they can assume for sure that the entire western side is clear. So should they have that circle push up towards them once again, that would be quite a bit of room gathered for them to play around. Treelith trying to tap down towards the guys from Ghost Legion, but Alpha, he was the prone one. He was the one that wasn't taking any fire, and he was there with the Kar 98 to get the knock. Sure, sneak. He gets himself the finish off, but great reaction play from Ghost Legion to instantly pop ahead in return as shots came blazing down towards them. T-Bone all by himself, trying to sneak in towards the compound, which we already have all of Aurora. That's going to be a tough play to make. He kind of just wants them to just to push off everyone else, so he can have a little bubble to sit around in while everyone else is fighting. We're still just 2 teams away from a potential placement point for Wizards here. For those of you guys who don't know how that new point system works, it is the top 8 that gets placement points. You can see Tuck, he knows he's inside the house. He's just waiting for him to peek on through. Appeal, spotted out by a Tuck, has the tree to work with, and with him proning down, that's going to grant him the cover needed, fortunately. Goldtail tries to push up, Clip is there with him, but they both go down immediately, and now Simpson taken down as well. All of a sudden, Riddle, they had 4 guys alive, but immediately, off of 150-meter push, they go down to just 1. Hannibro, the only guy left remaining now. Ghost Legion, they're taking out as well. Goldbeef finished off by the Aurora players. Ooh, Simpson, can you get rest here? The circle is already moving in. He tried to go for it, but not gonna happen. Hannibro, no helmet. It's too dangerous. If he's in a position where anyone can get just the smallest angle, it's just 1 bullet to the head, and you are down and out. So lives to fight another day. Just 1 more team needs to get eliminated for him and his teammates to get at least just something off of this game. Levent goes down, so Aurora now forced into the fight against LXG, and Hannibro gets down in the aftermath of that. So that's some long-range tapping for headshots from Nixties with that Groza. That's the 2nd medium-range headshot we see with the Groza. It's normally not like the tapping weapon preference for teams, but great job nonetheless. Misa actually, oh, okay, so T-Bone isn't alone. He has Misa, but on the complete opposite side of the circle. Not very optimal, of course, but with them being 2 guys alive, increases their chances of making it into the late game for sure. Misa is trying to sneaky peeky make his way down, and as I say that, he's pulling out the weapon. No shooting, just down on the chest, scroll on forward. Might want to consider dropping that backpack to make your character model even smaller. Sure, you can't get hit in the backpack, but or you can't take damage if the opponent only shoots you in the backpack. That's what I was trying to say. But but sneaky peeky nonetheless. Use the smoke, use the shadow. But Levent and Aurora, they're running straight out on top of him. Oh, gets spotted out. He gets down the first one, but immediately traded in return. Great reaction play from Shrawa. Okay, that name. Shrawase. That's going to be his name for now. But immediately, Andy over there, they heard the shots. They knew there were people knocked. And he wants to get over and get himself some damage off of it. One guy finished off. Gets himself a knock onto one more. And Shisho is all by himself now. Nate's thrown everything in the direction. And Andy, 5 kills for him. They lost 2 players early on. But, they got the damage needed to apply the pressure and force them back down. Tucky knew he was in there. He was just waiting for him to peek on out. And then it's all, there's no rest coming in for you, buddy. Not gonna happen. Aaliyah finishes off the kill. And Aaliyah actually goes down and returns. So a little costly due to standstill. And try and do the damage there. Cost him his life. And for those of you guys wondering about stream quality, it is the clean feed. The clean feed is sent through, so sometimes the bitrate gets a bit bouncy. That would be the reason why. Shisho running on down towards his teammates. As I was gonna say his teammates, yikes. He's a solo player, Toby. Get your head together. LXG though, LXG only has 1 kill. And you can say, how the hell can you only have 1 kill when in this compound? Well, now they have 2. But they haven't been forced to fight anyone so far. They have not been forced to really do anything from this position. And now, I mean, not up until this point, because everyone in the compound, they already got headshotted twice by Nixties. And that's gonna be one of those, we might just want to reconsider looking out these windows, because Nixties is ready with both the Gross and the M24. And yeah, and that's kind of forcing them to stay inside the house. I mean, as long as they stay in the circles, there's no reason them, like, no need for them really to keep on peeking. And obviously, Swayze taken down as well. Once again, the bolt action snipers damage has been buffed, and we're seeing the result of it right here. More bolt actions, actually, I would say, in this game, or at least in this group, than I've been used to seeing competitive play. It used to be all about those SDMRs, but now we're seeing at least some use of the bolt action snipers. Andy in a vehicle, just wants to drive it down the hill, maybe, so it will keep on rolling and grant him some cover while he's running in towards the circle. Just wants to get it inside the circle. Ben gets a knock onto one, but look at the circle damage. The nade is on the money as well, and Aaliyah takes 1, but takes a player in return. And Aaliyah, I believe, all by himself now. No, actually does have 2 teammates. I'm not keeping track of anything. I'm so sorry, guys. But Aaliyah, 5 kills to the team. Swarm, they had a good amount of kills last game as well. And hopefully for them, I mean, as I said before, they've had a win on each day in stage 1, the Swarm team. And this is one of those teams that were in contenders for phase 1, but didn't manage to stay there. They weren't able or capable of pulling off the games that they needed to pull off in the contenders stage 1 or contenders phase 1. And now they have a chance to make it back there for phase number 2. PEL prone down behind the rock on the eastern side. Trying to, well, just stay put and hopefully he's going to be inside the next circle. Andy with the bold action. Almost had it on Corp as well. 2 solo players remaining. 9 kills for Art of War and a guaranteed placement point at least. Oh, he's trying to anticipate it. Not happening though. And now we see LXG making the push on forward over towards 4AK. 4AK had a rough early game. They lost 2 players really, really early on. And now Andy, 360s, ain't gonna save you, Corp, and takes the kill. And 1 more placement point added to the list for Vinconas. Nate's coming in as well, Northwest, trying to hold them off. There are only 2 players remaining, Northwest and Nixty. They're sitting in their house trying to hold them off. They disengage from the other house. Ooh, that Nate somehow not getting a knock. Mikhailovich as well, trying to hold the angle. Coppin spotted as he was jumping out the window. And now flashbangs thrown forward. He's trying to get himself some sort of some sort of cover where there is none. He's not inside the circle yet, I believe. Oh, maybe just exactly inside the circle, actually. He had the smoke, he had the flashbangs, but they knew exactly where it was, and they're just going to be waiting. So he is inside. 10 people alive in the final circle here. Northwest tries to throw the nade up, bounces off the wrong way, though, unfortunately. You see Nixty is trying to hold the angle, spraying with the Grossa. Not going to be enough damage done there, though. Cobb spotted out in the blue, goes down. These circles are starting to do so much damage. Squishy is holding the window. Nixty once again with the Grocer. This is where the Grocer, despite many people not really favoring the weapon, this is where the Grocer becomes such a beastly weapon. You see it right there, barely needs to hit it. Holy cow, Nixty! What a hell of a spray transfer right there. Great performance. There's still 2 guys alive on their team, but they're both stopping to get those meds going. And somehow, Nixty, I believe he just found himself his new favorite gun, because him and the Grocer seem to be the perfect pair and the unstoppable one at that right now. Quizzy trying to run in, and in all of this, in the meantime, in all of this, you just see Swarm making that run on in. Northwest, Nixty still up, 4 kills for him so far. Still multiple teams in, and he's gonna get himself his 6th kill of the game. What a hell of a performance for Nixty to stay put for this long, but they have to push up. It's gonna be a tough push, 2v3. Can they pull it off? 2 guys from AK versus the 3 remaining players for Swarm. Drone over the top, spots out one more, and down to so low HP. Fight stalled once more. Don't peek while your teammates are healing. Pulls on up. Nixty once again grows up. Beast weapon down to 40 HP though. Does he have time to met, or does he have to run forward? The circle is as small as it's pretty much ever going to get in these competitive games. 2 versus 2. Nixty, no time to stop and heal. Now he's proning down, getting those meds going, and Northwest is playing it safe while he's doing so. Smart communication coming in. Northwest gets down one more, and if they could pull this off, they lost 2 players to start the game, and they know exactly where they have him. Just 22 more bullets remaining in the gun for Nixty. Has the angle. Oh, 1v1 now. He's in the blue. He spots him out, and Nixty gets the kills.